here at the very latest reaction to all of tonight's big breaking news. Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, first, this looks like it's going to be pretty severe. I understand there's evacuations now going on in and around the Tampa area. What's the latest that you're hearing, and what is the preparedness that's going on now behind the scenes?
Well, the good news is that Florida has a lot of experience doing this. Unfortunately, I say that because we've had a lot of storms. But a few years ago, Sean, I went to the National Hurricane Center, and I remember asking them, what would be the worst possible storm that you can imagine hitting our state? And they described basically what we're facing right now, which is a powerful hurricane that sort of stalls off the coast, doesn't even have to make landfall over Florida, just stalls off the coast and pushes a bunch of water into the Tampa Bay region and into the western part of the state. We're talking about 5 to 10 foot storm surge, which are not survivable. You know, you can shelter a little bit against the wind, you can hunker down in place, but you cannot shelter against water. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 foot storm surges, when it gets that high, you can't survive it. The only way to avoid dying in that is to leave when they tell you to leave. And they're not just arbitrarily telling you to leave. It's based, they know the areas that are most vulnerable to this. So if they're telling you to leave, it's because it's going to take time to get you to go. So I hope people are listening to that and will follow those orders, because this is a life-threatening thing. There's no way to ride that out. And that's what we're facing now, potentially the worst-case scenario in terms of storm surge.
So you're telling people, and I know a lot of people believe in liberty and freedom, and they don't like to be told what to do, and they don't want to leave their house, and it's inconvenient. I would ask our listeners to err on the side of caution, protect yourself, protect your family, take it seriously, and the worst case scenario is you took a drive that you didn't need to take. Let me get to your election. You're being supported by law enforcement in the state of Florida because of your great work as senator, and even though Val Demings, your opponent, claims to have the support of law enforcement, she doesn't.
Val Demings would be the most liberal senator Florida's ever had. She has extreme positions on every issue. She votes with Pelosi 100% of the time, which is why Schumer wants her in the Senate. She was a police officer, and then she went to Washington and basically turned her back on the police department. It actually makes it worse because she actually knows better. She knows better, but she wanted to be picked as the vice president of a party that's been overtaken by Marxist misfits and radical leftists. And so when she was trying to become popular with the left so that they would maybe choose her to be Biden's vice president, she turned her back on police officers, in fact voted for bills that allow us to, would allow you be able to sue police officers individually and the like. And so it's, yeah, I mean, you know, almost every sheriff in Florida, we have 66 elected sheriffs, 57 of them have endorsed my campaign because they saw that. They know her record in Congress. She doesn't even like to tell people she's been in Congress for 6 years. She goes around calling herself Chief Demings instead of Congresswoman Demings because she's never gotten anything done, and she's voted wrong and against Florida's interests and against common sense and on behalf of the radical left 100% of the time.
You know, I'm finding that in a lot of these races, you see it in Ron Johnson's race, you see it in J.D. Vance's race, you see it in Oz's race, you see it in Herschel Walker's race. It is the biggest choice election ever. So what is her vision versus your vision so the people of Florida can be very clear when they go in the voting booth, when they cast their vote?
Well, her vision is whatever they tell her vision needs to be on the far left. She's going to vote with them 100% of the time. And what vision is that? It's a vision that will destroy this country. It's voting in favor of allowing schools and forcing schools to push and try to indoctrinate children and turn boys into girls. It's the theory of allowing the country to be overrun. Our border is not even immigration. This is a mass migration catastrophe. It's that vision. And then, you know, if anybody criticizes you, you either criminalize political opposition or you call people racists or fascists or whatever ists they can come up with. That's their vision. That's what she's done in her time in the House. That's what she's voted for. That's what she'll vote for if she gets in the Senate. And so they're, you know, one vote away in the Senate, by the way, from passing anything they want. They'll get rid of the filibuster. They'll pack the Supreme Court. They'll take over elections from the federal level. They'll spend $4 trillion, not just $800 billion. They'll destroy America if we don't stop them.
You know, Senator, with your race, like so many of these Senate races, are so critical. If Republicans can get the House and the Senate, it would literally stop right in its tracks this radical socialist agenda. And if we win in 2024, we can get America back on track completely. We appreciate you being with us, and this is an important race for the people in Florida. Thank you.